Needless to say, we ran into a much larger issue than we originally thought. I broke it. I mean, broke it. Hey guys, welcome back to K&S Get Out. You know how things go the way that you kind of think they're going to go sometimes when you make plans, you know, and have ideas of stuff to do for the day.
And then reality hits.
Yep. Woke up about 6:30 this morning, went to the restroom. Water's frozen in the camper.
And we did leave it on this time.
Yeah. It's actually been nice and cozy in there, but it's like, what is it outside right now?
I meant to look, but I forgot.
I think it's like 17 degrees, but it feels like -1, maybe -2.
It may not even be up to 17 yet.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really cold. The wind's blowing. The animals are hiding from it. So what we had planned for today has been derailed. What we've got to do is figure out if the freeze is up here at the camper or over here where the faucet comes up or further down the line. We have a space heater in the well house. We know it's about 35 degrees, which is
it's above freezing. That's all that matters.
It shouldn't be down there. So we'll test the faucet over here and then come up the line and try to find it. But before we do that, we got to go feed some animals or we're going to hear about it the whole time.
Hi, big guy.
Oh, that's a good boy. Got your honker toy? It's cold out here, guys. I know it.
Hi, buddy. Spruce, don't get up.
I'm not getting up. Don't worry about it. Where my food at?
We're getting it.
Doesn't look like it.
You're so cute. Little cuddle bugs.
I was checking the cameras last night, and ironically, I mean, Shanon checks daily as to whether or not she's pregnant. And we saw something pretty interesting last night. She was actually cuddling with Luigi up here in the shelter, and Larry was standing over here staring kind of awkwardly like, that's my mom, I cuddle with her. So I don't know if that means that she's kind of trying to pull away a little bit.
Start the separation process.
Yeah. I don't know. She's showing a lot of indications. You guys we got to get food before we can do anything, don't we?
Let's go get your food.
Thank you. About time. Jeez Louise.
Hey, you can't chew my fingers. Well, you know where to go.
My goodness, lady.
What's up, Spruce? Hey, Luigi. Hi, buddy.
Hey, no.
They're trying to eat our new addition.
I know.
I want to borrow one of Herc's toys to stop them.
No.
Herc, why aren't you eating your food, dude? Why don't you go eat some food? All right, come on out. Stop working on our shelter. Thanks for your help. So what we have learned when it's this cold out here, the key to staying warm is all about your layers. And I don't care who you are, when it's this cold, you gotta have layers. You gotta have bibs. You gotta close up the seams, don't have exposed skin. We're pretty good at it, but you get to moving around a lot, and you start to sweat in your core. You gotta slow down and stop for a second, because the last thing I want is to be soaking wet underneath all my outer layers. You staying warm, big guy? Actually, hoodie string. Thanks, Mom, thanks. He will destroy that in under 3 seconds.
Hey, let's not do that.
You little stinker.
You are a stinker.
Rudolph, are we still red, buddy? Hey, mister. Oh, yep, just a little bit. I don't know what you're talking about.
Their heated bowl's doing good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that good stuff.
I think I can actually see it steaming a little bit.
So yesterday morning it was super cold when we came out here, and I noticed Blue had a little bit of swelling on her hind end. So because of that, I went into panic mode. And I thought, oh no, if she has these babies, we got to have somewhere warm for her to be, somewhere out of the elements. So I talked Kyle into standing out in the cold with me for like 2 hours.
Working out in the cold.
Working out in the cold with me for 2 hours. Getting our little shelters more weatherproof than they were before.
Yeah, and the problem, I mean, it was cold.
It was cold.
But the biggest problem was literally we had wind gusts up to like 37 miles an hour. So coming out of this direction behind us from the back side of the shelter, it was blasting us with wind.
Yeah.
And so the goats were mostly just staying in the big shelter, but Hercules doesn't feel weather. He gets hyper and he goes in there and just stirs them up, runs them out. So we wanted to try to beef up these little shelters just a little bit so they'd have another place to go if they needed to spread out. You know? A lot of goats in one building.
And if Blue did have her babies, I wanted her to be in a very warm space. And I'm worried about those babies getting hyperthermia. So we had to do what we had to do.
So on the first one that I built, this one, I framed out underneath the roof a little better than I did in the other one. What I mean by that, those vertical 2x4s gave me a place. So that gave me a place to sink some screws very tenderly into this foam board and then sink them into those 2x4s just enough to hold this up. I think I've got a few extras here and there. So this one wasn't too bad. But I will say, Shannon and I both climbed in to test them out yesterday. And it was even a nice little break for us, wasn't it? When it was super cold and windy.
It's actually pretty cozy in here now. I feel I probably feel 100 times better about being prepared for them than I did before we had it up.
Yeah, well, we had that extra sheet of the foam board, so it worked out really nicely that we didn't have to try to return that or find a place to use it.
And
we did find a place.
Lot of scraps too from up at the camper.
That's very true. You know, does it mess with the flow of the design and the look? Maybe. But the functionality is fantastic.
We can always change it later this summer. And I know everybody's going to say we should have done it earlier. Well, we didn't. So we did it yesterday. So we'll actually do some design work on it this summer and get it to where it needs to be. But right now it's functional.
If our camper looks like that with all the foam board around it, then why do the goats get prettier buildings?
Because we have littles that chew on it.
Oh yeah, we do have that.
Don't chew on that, mister.
It just seems to be Little Mario and Koopa.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, I'm glad it's not all of them, but I don't know. Got to convince them not to eat it. Stinking birds and goats want to just beat up our foam insulation.
Goatlets.
Goatlets. That's true. You just been walking around with your honker toy for the past 10 minutes. Need to get you in your food, dude. Something's on his brain. I know you're not gonna bury that thing. You can't bury your favorite toy when you need something to play with, dude. If I'm being honest, it actually feels drastically warmer today, even though it's like, I think close to 15, 20 degrees colder than it was yesterday. But yesterday, there was no sunshine. And like I said, that wind was humming. There's a little breeze today, but absolutely nothing compared to what we had yesterday. So here's the other part of the problem. We don't know yet. You know, our pressure tank is inside the well house. Obviously our well and our pump are in there, and we've got that space heater. So I know it's above freezing inside that building. This faucet right here is the first one in line. The water comes out here, goes here, and then it goes right up there to that other faucet on the driveway. So what we got to do is find out if it's frozen here, there, or on up at the camper. Oh, fingers crossed. Awesome. Very good. So that means we can fill up our jug to get them more water. And yeah, that's fantastic. So like in the camper, without water, you can't use the toilet either. No showering, no bathroom, no hand washing, nothing. That's gonna stress Shannon out a little bit. And me as well, but her before me. Can I say that? We'll find out. So we'll go ahead and get these guys taken care of. We'll check the faucet up at the top of the driveway, and then we'll go back and check the one on the back of the camper and see if it's at that faucet or if it's at the connection point to the camper.
I got you two. Oops.
Oh no, you're throwing it on the ground.
I got you two because I figured you want one for each hand.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I've been taking one glove off so I could push the button on the camera. And
I know, you shouldn't have to do that though because of the thing.
Awesome. These things
rotate
are
mine.
fantastic because the first things to get cold always
Fingers.
and then toes.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. My fingers are already cold, so.
I feel warmer than we did yesterday
Well,
because
it
the
is.
sunshine and the wind's not
sunshine
blowing the same.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, guess what? That faucet over there totally works.
Oh, good deal. I'll go put water in here.
Yeah, so it's further up the line.
There's a steady stream of water.
Yeah. Makes me happy to know that the freeze isn't down here.
Yeah.
He says, no, I want to chew on your pants.
Yeah. These heated bowls are awesome.
For sure.
Okay. Hey. That's a good boy.
What do you think? Leave the little hay feeders in the
Yeah.
shelter still?
Yeah. Because I don't want them standing out in the wind just to eat. Spruce says, just leave this bucket here. I'll eat out of it all day.
Oh, I know it. Tell us about it, buddy.
Nom 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 nom. Hey 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 hey. Yum yum.
Spruce, you just follow the bucket, don't you?
I follow the bucket. Wherever the bucket goes, Spruce goes.
Hey, what, Harry?
Oh, shoot. Hey, man, get out of there. Thanks for your assistance, Spruce. Herc, you gotta stay in your food. You gotta keep Harry from getting it. Yeah, you gotta keep him from getting it. Silly boy. Hi, pretty girl. Hi. Can I highlight you for a minute? Can we give him a little update on you? You're hanging in there, aren't you? So what made me super nervous yesterday and make me kind of go into panic mode was her hind end, how swollen it is. She may not let me show it to you guys, but her hind end is very swollen.
Would you want to show yours?
No, I wouldn't.
She's a lady.
She's a lady. But I just want to show you guys where she's at, and maybe that'll kind of give you guys a little bit of an update on her too. Look at the size difference in these two. So Spruce is a little more than 2 months older than Larry. But Larry and Harry are 2 months older than the Mario brothers. What's going on? Hi, buddy. Hi. Did you just need to jump on me and eat my clothes? Yeah? Okay. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Okay, so what'd you do different?
Oh, I put the hay bucket over there instead of leaving it in the main shelter.
Oh, well, that was a good idea.
That way these guys could just eat out of the big one. That'll distract Luigi until it's gone and turned over and
Yep.
all the hay's out of it.
Look, Lil Koopa's in there checking out the foam.
Hey, dude.
Well, I got a piece. What the heck?
Hey, guys. Okay, so I'm going to try to show you Blue's hind end. She doesn't really like to show it off too much, but to me it looks very swollen. How's your bag doing? Is your bag filled up any? I know it, pretty girl. Okay, so that swelling is what made me kind of panic and think that she was going to be close. Plus I was pushing on like her tail area to feel those ligaments, and they had kind of softened. So it just made me go into panic mode. But Kyle was telling me, him and his dad were talking about the goats, whenever they get cold, they keep their tails down to keep it warmer back there instead of always keeping their tails up. So that could be what was going on with her too.
I think this guy is about 12 days from going into labor as well. I was feeling over here and I was noticing something's kicking.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been, let's see, he's, oh, yeah, the ligaments, yeah, let's see, is his back.
Get off me! What are you doing? It's not funny, Dad. Not funny at all.
It's a little bit funny, Spruce.
Yeah, I think your neck nuts are a little swollen.
Oh my gosh.
You can't say that. No, she is.
I can't believe you said that.
This is the biggest she's ever been.
Yeah.
Now, we are feeding them a little heavily this time of year because it is so cold. We want them to be able to stay warm. And for most of the littles, as we told you, this is their first winter. So
Yeah.
we just want to give them the best chances of staying warm, and we got colder days ahead, which is kind of the problem with the frozen water, is it's not going to be above freezing until Wednesday. It's Saturday today.
Yeah.
So if we don't get that unfrozen, it ain't going to do it naturally between now and then.
Nope.
So I'm looking forward to that. Getting pumped.
Golly, little guy. I stay nice and warm, everybody. Don't worry about sprucers. I'm a goat. A tough goat. I'm the goat of goats, really.
You are.
He's humble, too.
Yeah.
One of you just stunk it up in here.
It's probably Herc.
Goodness gracious. I can see his breath out of his nose. He don't feel the cold, though.
Mm-mm. Harry, are you trying to go ice skating? You know there's a heated water bowl over there you can get water from. Yeah. You don't have to go ice skating. I took him over to the heated water bowl and he didn't care. He just wants to play.
Oh, yeah. Can't blame him.
Well, this is the first time that he's ever been able to stand on his water bowl.
All right. All the furry ones are taken care of. They're doing well. They've got water. Full bellies. We got to see if this faucet works. Beautiful.
I'm gonna go ahead and put some water in this bucket so that we can take it inside in case we need to use the toilet.
Great idea. But we now know from the main pressure tank and well and everything to the first faucet and second faucet, the freeze isn't there. Now our water line, we did that, I don't know, a year and a half or two ago. I think I've got it in some places. I know I'm like 4 feet underground, especially back here behind the camper. So I'm not really worried about it freezing down in the ground. Your freezing points are typically always up above ground for obvious reasons. We do have this wrapped in that heat tape. This is like an insulated sticky tape. I used to have a splitter here, and that way I could leave the water line on. This is main water going into the camper. And I have a hose for a flush out that I run as I'm emptying the black tank or after I empty it. But that splitter last year froze. It was just that little, galvanized steel Y fitting basically, so that you could have two hoses coming off of one faucet. So I took that out of the equation and I just switched between the hoses as I need to. But now I just need to kill this water, which is probably not flowing anyhow, undo this hose and see if we're getting water here. And if we are, then it's up there. If we're not, it's somewhere in here. It's definitely here. I can't even turn it off.
Oh, uh-oh.
It's this faucet head.
Okay.
Because this is plugged in, and that is our heated hose. So the whole thing, I was kind of moving that earlier, and there's flexibility in it, so it's not frozen in there, but it's definitely up here. I'll have to see if I can even get this off. Maybe there is water flowing. Get ready, it'll be squirting right at you. Boy. So some water was coming out. You do have to twist it the correct direction.
So that's just what was in the hose.
Well, that's good, because I can take a torch to this, I guess. Oh my. Not good. So I took a bad problem and I made it a really bad problem. So, moving on to the solution. This one, they're the same faucets, and this is threaded on right here. So I do believe we can turn off the water, and I've got a big plumber's wrench, and we can unscrew that head and just replace the head. Coming over here to inspect this one, because it's not wrapped in all that thermal tape, it does say on the back, most repairs can be done without digging, exclamation point. So they wanted to give me hope and not panic, thinking I gotta dig up that whole faucet and replumb it and all that stuff.
Let's hope that's the case.
I don't want to dig in this ground right now.
You can't dig in this ground. It's 10 degrees outside.
So we're going to go ahead and torch that one to see if we can get it unfrozen, thawed out, and then see if I can forcibly get it turned back on and just use that for water. If not, I could potentially run a hose from here over to the camper long enough for us to use the water, maybe fill up that fresh water tank in there, turn on the water pump, and we go through the tank. But I'd way rather have it running from the backside of the camper.
Started to see a couple of drips.
That's fantastic. Come on,
oh,
baby.
Keep going.
Come on, baby. If it starts to go, I've got to get the hose on real quick. Yeah.
Keep burning.
Keep going for a minute. I'm going to go in and check the pressure.
Okay.
Keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going.
Is there anything coming out of the sink yet?
No. Since this is the side that the cold's coming from, when he's got that part down, we can just bring straw over and stack it.
Okay.
To have another layer of barrier.
Okay.
Before it makes it that far.
Sounds good.
Let it purge?
Yeah. So how I just pull up on that by the six screw?
I think so. Here it comes. Do that.
So it doesn't actually thread into that hole for the freshwater tank.
A hose in it.
So you'll know when it's full when it starts spraying back out at your dad.
Okay. So you're filling up the freshwater hose right now, or the freshwater tank?
Yeah, that way. Because what we may do, you know, the night it's gonna be like -11 actual temp. We could disconnect all this stuff, turn off the water, let this, you know, it'll remain safe just like the other two we've got.
Okay.
Then we still got water.
Make sure you drain this hose, or maybe take it inside, drain it, take it inside. That way it can kind of warm up.
That's a good idea.
Over here, we completely torched our heat tape around our pipe. So can we put more?
Wrap it over the other tape, and it's not going to hurt anything. It'll seal it back off.
Okay.
You don't think there's like an overflow down below and it's just pouring out underneath?
I think it's
Oh.
right there.
Well, it's the next day. Needless to say, we ran into a much larger issue than we originally thought. So we did get the water running at the faucet. However, I broke it. I mean, broke it. Panic time. Anyway, oh, and by the way, it's like 20 degrees colder today. I think currently it's about 2 degrees and it feels like negative 11 or 12. And it's snowing, so we're not going to be out here long, but I just wanted to show you. In our panic, we had to phone a friend. We're getting pretty good at that. We're getting better at that because there's a lot of people that are way better at this. So we called Shannon's dad, and guys, I cannot thank him enough. So if you get a chance, comment down below. Tell Ken thank you for saving Shannon and I. He came out here.
Savior.
We were in the cold all day long. The whole time sunlight was up, we were outside working on it, and
Yeah.
Ken was right there with us. He brought his big kerosene 100,000 BTU heater, and we had to run that under the camper and just blow all the heat into the underside of the camper. So we had to get all these seams sealed up, and we got really creative using screws and tape and planks to cover them. I mean, Ken was crawling around on his ground. I mean, we were just getting after it. But this back here was a big part because that's how we access our black tank. So right now, we just hope we don't fill it up extremely quickly or else we're gonna have to undo some work to get in there. This was probably the best part. So we got one of those cylinders, kind of like you said, cylindrical forms, and then stuffed that full of straw and insulated that even better. And so I'm really hopeful, and I think that we're not gonna freeze out here. And then that line, thank you. This is electrified, so it's got heat on it. And then they installed this little cover over the inlet into the camper. Did a little bit of handiwork. We crawled under there. There's another straw bale back there and some more foam board covered the seams. We just got, you know, real crazy with it.
Let's go inside.
All right, I gotta put my glove back on. We're gonna go up in the office.
Man, I'm thankful for a warm camper right now.
I am too.
Kind of feel like we should be down there instead of in here.
Well, that weather is beautiful, but it is not to be messed with. So today we fed the animals. We got them all the straw they could have. We checked on everybody. You know, they're doing as well as they can for it being, you know, what feels like 10 below zero. And it's okay.
Everybody is fluffed up.
Oh, yeah.
Even Blue. She's the most fluffed up I've ever seen her.
Yeah. But yeah, we had to close off every seam around the base of the camper and then pump that heat in there. And I think we ran it for probably 2 or 3 hours. So Shannon's dad brought over 100,000 BTU heater. It's kerosene, so it's the one that has like the tube and gets the flame in it and blows all that hot air who knows how far. So as we were getting it sealed off better and better and better, that was just blowing heat down there because the frozen part was somewhere inside the camper. We had the faucet working, we had the hose, everything was good. We could get water flowing. I'm just having to manually pull the plunger on that spigot until I can get a new head for it. That'll be another fun project.
That'll be a spring project.
But we ran that heater for about 2 or 3 hours, and finally I think it was reading about 72, 73 degrees under there, which was matching what it was in the camper. And we were in dire straits. I mean, at this point we're doing everything and water still didn't flow.
Yeah. And I'll be real honest. I was having a lot of guilt because I took on the responsibility of fixing the foam insulation and getting it all buttoned up. And to be real honest, I felt kind of dense because I thought it was more like a windbreak. And my dad got here and he was like, you have so many spots that you have hot air leaking out. And I was like, oh, okay. He was like, I walked around the camper. We have a lot more work to do. And I was like, I just had no idea. I really thought it was a windbreak. And so I was feeling pretty guilty yesterday.
It's okay. Don't feel guilty. I was feeling guilty because I'm pretty sure I'm the one that woke up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. When it did, then I turned off the sink before I came to bed. I don't know that for sure, but somebody did. And
it was off when I got up.
Yeah. Long story short, eventually we found where the water comes into the camper. It is technically in the underbelly storage with absolutely no insulation. So there was no thought going into that when they designed that camper. So we've just got to keep water running. We had a 2 faucets going all night last night, and just constant reminder like, hey, don't turn that off. Hey, don't turn that off. So it's annoying. Like, it feels like a little bit of a torture, like having to listen to water drip nonstop, but way better than not having a toilet or a shower
Yes.
or sinks.
Yes, it felt very good to shower last night.
Yeah. So, man, I tell you what, Ken,
Thanks, Dad.
we talked about it all night long last night. We both just crashed in the recliners and just relaxed. Bought the silly Chiefs game on. Yeah. Watched a little football, and we just had to decompress and enjoy the warmth because it got real cold and it just kept getting colder. And we got a few more like this.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it's not that... I mean, it's warmer right here in the office, but it's not as warm as I expected it to be.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to text Luke because I don't believe this heater is running.
Well, there's that.
I don't know if we broke it or if it just does this when it's real cold. I'm not familiar with these mini splits. Yeah, so I'll text Luke, and if he just says, hey, man, it's 10 below zero, like, yeah.
It is what it is, yeah.
Even if it was working, you're not going to be able to keep up with it.
Yeah.
It's clearly, I think it's below freezing in here, if I had to bet.
You think so? I need a thermometer for in here.
I think it's pretty close.
It's cold. So our camper is warm. We have water running in our camper right now. And I'm very thankful that it froze up yesterday versus today, because I would feel really bad calling my dad to come out here today in the snow and say...
It wouldn't have happened. We couldn't. Just feeding out there and filming that short little bit right there, like, there's no way we could stay out and do that. So it would have been a plan B. We'd have had to find another place to stay and take Nala and just come back and forth to take care of the animals, which is a little less than ideal, but, may have to do that anyway if this keeps up. I'm not sure. Good thing
We're exhausted, guys.
Good thing we have a good support group, huh?
We have a great support group.
Very appreciative.
We're exhausted. We're doing everything we can to keep everybody warm and safe, as well as ourselves. That's all we can do, really.
Yeah, because I'm not, my fingers can't take trying to work on this stuff today.
No.
I guess I'm just going to have to watch football.
Go Cowboys.
Get it. Well, guys, be thankful for all the many blessings you have in your lives. Shannon and I are very, very thankful, and Ken saved the day once again.
And we're very, very blessed.
But seriously, don't get out in this. I know there's parts of this country that's even 20 or 30 degrees colder than it is here. If you don't have to be out in it, don't be out in it. Take care of your animals, take care of yourself, and get back inside.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. It's beautiful. It's snowing currently, and it's absolutely beautiful, but I don't want to be out in it. I'm over it.
Yeah, my sinuses can't take it. I'm all burnt out from yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate your well wishes and your prayers and your thoughts. We will make it through this. We love and appreciate each and every one of you. And as always, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.